Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint a zinnia filled teapot. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. This is a picture I took out of our garden last year. We had a lot of zinnias and yeah, I like this one. Hope you're going to enjoy it. I'll show you step by step how to do it from start to finish tonight. Got my husband Mark with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's man on chat, so if you've got questions during the show, you can ask those and we'll try to answer. Let's get started. Alrighty, so I've got my canvas prepped. This is a 12 by 12 inch canvas. I've put a coat of maybe about that much of Quinacridone Burnt Orange. If you don't have that, use like Magenta and Burnt Sienna or just any kind of orangey red color will do in the background. I kind of tried to wipe it off, but I didn't get it off. I was kind of going for this color. That's the color that's on the side, and I waited too long to wipe it off. So, but it's fine. It's dark. It's going to be fine. This is actually probably real close to the teapot color that we're going to be doing. Speaking of, let's go over our colors real quick. I've got burnt umber, burnt sienna, quinacridone burnt orange, quinacridone magenta, cadmium. Oh no, I'm sorry, not cadmium. I changed that out to pyrrole orange. If you have cadmium, you can use that instead. Either cadmium red light or cadmium orange, either one. This one's kind of in between. So this is pyrrole orange, Indian yellow hue, yellow oxide, cadmium yellow light, phthalo green yellow shade, ultramarine blue, dioxazine purple, unbleached titanium, titanium white here, and a little bit of zinc white and some glass glazing liquid. All right. That looks really crooked. I don't know why it came out. It's weird. It's weird. Okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. All right, let's go back. There we go. We're going to use chalk to sketch it out. And as far as brushes go, you're going to want a round brush for the petals of the zinnia. They're going to be similar to a daisy. We're just going to be doing a lot of this. So just going to need a round brush. Probably going to use a couple different sizes. I've got my Princeton 6100 series for those, a 2 and a 4. And then I've got a 4 Filbert for some of the leaves and things. And then for the teapot itself, probably the body of it I'll probably do with the 8 Bright. The last one that we did in this series, we have done 3 other ones in this series. I think there was a 4th one, but I couldn't find it in my painting. So that was the first one, and then this one, and then this one. Oh yeah, there was one, because there was a one with a copper teapot. I don't know what I did with that painting. It's somewhere around here. There was a copper. And then this one. This was the one brush challenge one that we did with the flat brush, the whole thing with the flat brush. So that was kind of a fun one. But there is a copper one missing. I don't know what I did with it. Yeah, there's a copper teapot missing that's on a green background. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, I'm going to do this really quick because this is bothering me. Now. Okay, quick. I swear we're gonna get through this tonight. I have not painted this ahead of time, so I just broke my nail literally just as I sat down. So I meant to do it and I forgot. Okay, there we go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. It's not like we haven't done this a few times before and acting like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna cut my corner here of my canvas. It's got some little hairs or fibers sticking out. I don't like when they cut these. This is a blick canvas, but they've cut the corner here instead of folded it under. I do like the splined back. Normally I use Fredrix for my canvases, but I do prefer the spline back, but they don't come with the Fredrix. So anyhow, this is the only one I could find and grabbed it. Okay, I don't know why I'm rambling so much today. Let's just paint. My goodness, it's gonna be one of those nights. All right.
Take a breath.
Whew. All right, let's paint. Here we go. I'm gonna sketch this out. So it's funny, all the teapots I notice in this series, they're all facing to the left. So,
To the left.
Yeah, to left. I don't know why. It just happened to be the way they've all gone, but yeah, I need to track down that other painting. It's somewhere. We've done literally 720, I think almost 20, 725-ish paintings over the last 10 years that we've been on YouTube.
You didn't sell it, did you?
No, I didn't sell it. No, it's somewhere. I haven't done a big sale of paintings in a while. I need to, but we're kind of over. What I'm saying is we're kind of overrun with paintings here because. All right, so kind of doing up the middle. The line up the middle can actually help you see if you're symmetrical. So if you're not sure, you can kind of do that and see. You can also kind of make a box around it and see, and kind of do your little wedges in the box and make sure that, they're equal. There's a lot of little tricks that you can do, but I think we're pretty close to being good. And this is a very modern ceramic teapot or pottery, maybe teapot, I'm not sure, that we got, and I really like the look of it, and it looks really good with flowers. I didn't buy it to use for tea, I just bought it to put flowers in as a vase. Literally for this series.
Which is actually tea.
And it really probably needs to go this way a little bit, although the flowers are going to come out here, so I think it might be okay because the flowers are coming out this side a little bit more than this side. Like they end right here in our photo, kind of right here in our photo, and then they come out over here. But I did kind of, maybe I need to make it a little bit wider. I think I'm just going to widen it out just a little bit so it's kind of ending right here and make it a little bit chunkier. Okay, somewhere in there. So I kind of narrowed it on this side a little bit, elongated that neck, and then widened it out over here. There we go. Okay, that'll be good. I think, and the handle, I could go grab it and look, but the handle, I think, kind of ends right about at the neck of it. Something like that. So the center is no longer there. It's like right here now. That looks pretty good. I'm going to round that corner out just a little bit more. Make sure the bottom is rounded out. All right, that looks pretty good. Now we've got plenty of room for our flowers to go. We've got a big one right here. 3 here, big one right here. Brought some in from our garden. We only had 3 blooming so far this year. It's still early, so I brought them out. Little guest appearance here. There. I might combine all of these yellow ones. There was like 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow ones all sticking in here, so I think I'm just gonna make them like two. So there's a big one here, one kind of tucked in here, one sort of facing away, and then I'm going to do another yellow one here, there, and then a big red one here, and another one there. Okay, that's good, I think. That fits.
The right bottom kind of goes up a little steeper.
A little bit too much.
To the left side.
Okay.
Yeah. That's better.
Better? Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I also want to mark my line for my kind of horizon line. It's back in here somewhere. Okay. And there's some interesting shadows in this one. I don't know if we'll have time to worry about that. We'll see as we get going here whether or not we want to try to add the shadows. But I've already wasted 15 minutes, so let's just get going here. It's very chatty today. I don't know why. Welcome if you're new. We're glad you're here.
Yes.
Hope you stick around. I promise I'm not this distracted. Well, I take that back. That may not be true. All right, so I think I've got this bag that I just bought, and I really like the colors in it. So I think I'm gonna do pull out some of these more teal colors and some of this olive tone, these olive toned yellows, and then maybe some lighter like peaches and things. So I think I'm gonna do that in the background though. So I think for this upper part of the background, I might go with the more peachy tones, and then down here maybe some of the more blue or green, like teal colors. All right, so I'm gonna get a little bit of my orange. A little bit goes a long way. Look at that, it just like boom. Get more of that white. And then a little bit of my, probably want some yellow, just a little bit, to make it more of that peachy tone. And I may even want a little bit of magenta. Kind of that salmon pink peach. I think that's going to look really pretty against these flowers because they're so bright. I think this will be a nice color. And this may be a little bit too dark, but we'll see. We'll go ahead and start with it and see what we think. And I'm going to just paint over that handle because I don't want to have to worry about that. I'll paint it in later. It's not fully mixed on my brush, but I actually don't mind that because it's going to give me kind of more of an interesting variegated background. And I want to make an interesting outline for my flowers, so I'm kind of deliberately going a little bit past where I see the petals end so that I can go over the top of this color with my petals, and I don't have to worry about painting in between all the petals or anything like that. So kind of dipping in there. But yeah, I think that's going to be a really pretty color for that background. Just kind of light peach. It's actually looking pretty good. I think I might go a little bit lighter with it, but I'm going to let it dry and see what it does and then decide. And this background is also kind of reacting with it and going to, change the color just a little bit. Okay. There we go. This is kind of a big brush for some of these little areas here coming around, but I'm not worried about it. I'll probably need a second coat on here anyways, so just get it close. That looks good. No, I'm gonna use it.
Okay.
Thanks. But I am gonna try to squeegee off this extra white that's on there and just scoop it. Trying to get it into a smaller area. Not a whole lot left on my brush here. Easier said than done. Let me get a palette knife, that'll help. There we go. Just smishing all that paint out there. There we go. Well, there's not a whole lot left of it, but there's enough to match it up at least. Okay. Then for this lower part, I'm going to just kind of wipe my brush out as much as I can. I'm not trying to clean it in my water because it's not going to come clean fully. You can take it to the sink and clean yours if you want. And I don't mind having this color down here either. I'm going to go ahead and grab more of my white. Let me spray my paints again because they're getting a little sticky. Okay, and then let's go ahead and use a little bit of this Ultramarine Blue and see what that happens with that pinky peach color. So you don't have a lot of it on my brush, so it's going to be okay. I think I do want to get a little bit more green though with it. This may be too much next to each other. I don't know. We'll see. That may look too weird. I might just want to go with a darker version of that instead. I can pull this color in other places. Yeah, I don't really like it there. I might use it in my shadows, so I might put it in over here. Let's just go ahead and paint it in, and we'll go over it. It's just beaten up on the canvas, isn't it? There we go. Okay. That's not bad. And I actually kind of don't mind the messiness either. Kind of an interesting look, but
Weathered.
I want it to kind of go with the other ones, so I probably won't leave it like that. But I do like that look. That's an option, you know. I really like that kind of more messy.
Kind of like me. Weathered, messy.
Messy? Yeah. Well, we go together. We're of a pair. Okay, so I actually don't mind it as much as I did. I didn't like it at first, but I kind of, it's growing on me. So I'm kind of blurring out that edge just a little bit where the two meet. Get a little bit more of that light blue here. And I'll probably use actually it's green. It's like a mint green almost. But it's very similar to that color there. So it may be a little bit more of the blue in it than that green, but it's close. I'm not trying to copy that. I'm just, you know, I like the color palette. It's very modern feeling, you know. And I'm trying to get better about going a little outside the script and not always going just with what's on the, you know, in the photo, but branching out and creating my own color stories. Actually, now that I just messed up my whole water thing, I'll give that to you. Mark's going to clean that up for me. Okay, and so I just need to kind of try to remember what colors I used here so that I can go back in and do them again. So if you've got like a little notebook, sometimes I'll take little notes and put them in a notebook like this and just, you know, mark out the colors that I'm using and where I put them, you know, or where I use them, that kind of thing, what the mixtures are, and so that I can come back in and check them again later. Just a good habit, especially if you're doing this on a larger canvas where you're not going to finish it in one sitting. Okay, so for the shadow, let's go ahead and use this green, and I'm going to get some of the blue, maybe a little bit more of the green, and just do like a little bit of a darker teal color. Maybe not quite that dark, but and go through here. And then I'm deliberately putting it over this wet paint so that it kind of blends with it a little bit. And if you're changing your silhouette a lot from your reference photo, then you may, you know, not be able to get away with doing it exactly like this. But I'm going to pretty much keep my photo the most, you know, pretty similar to the photo. I'm sticking pretty similar to the photo with my what I'm doing here. So with my flowers. So I'm just saying if you changed your silhouette quite a bit, then it would change what's going on down here a little bit too. So just keep that in mind. Going a little bit darker up against the vase and in the middle of the shadow. And they can be kind of variegated too. The shadow is not going to be like a solid color. It's going to have different variations in there, but that looks good. I like that. And then I'm going to get a little bit of the darker, maybe a little bit of burnt umber here, and just kind of go right up underneath where my vase is going to set and try to kind of define that a little bit. I'll do it again once I paint in my vase, but it doesn't hurt. I've already got this on my brush, so I might as well just kind of define that a little bit. Okay, that looks good. And then on the wall here, what I'm going to do is use this same lighter blue color and mix it with the wall color. So I'm just going to mix those two together so that I have just a, you know, that wall color is going to influence the color of the shadow a little bit.
People asked about him.
Fitzy? Oh yeah, he's back. He's definitely decompressing. It was a thing for him. He's back from puppy boot camp. He did well. He's testing us, you know. He's testing his boundaries and seeing if we mean it. When we were going to take him for a walk the other day, and he just decided he wasn't going to sit. You know. He just stood there and looked at me like he'd never heard the word ever in his entire life. And yeah, so we just left him at home because we were like, well, if he's not doing it here, he's obviously not going to do it at Lowe's. So
And up to that point, he had been.
yeah, after it was really weird. As soon as we put on the leash, it was kind of like it triggered him, and he was like, "No, I'm not gonna behave. I'm not gonna obey you." So yeah, I was just like, okay, well, we'll have to figure out what's going on in his little brain. I'm putting a little bit dark line there, kind of sketchy, and then I'm gonna get my light color and kind of go back over it and sort of blend it in just a little bit. Kind of blur that out a little bit. This is that background color. Just trying to, felt like they were too blended along that line. So just, there we go. So just a little faint line. That looks good. I'm gonna roll that good. And I've switched to my larger brush. This was the 8 Bright. And my hand's all sticky. I don't know what I got on it. Okie doke. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I like the shadow. It's actually was pretty easy, so I don't think it's you don't have to overthink it. Just kind of do a little bit, call it good. Add it up here. I'm gonna kind of go around it and soften the borders of it and go over the borders of the shadow just a little bit. There's a little like what's called a penumbra that is like the shadow of the shadow that happens, and so if you just kind of like lightly kind of go over your edges a little bit, it kind of fogs them out and creates that little effect. So I'm just gonna do that really quick there, and then any other areas where I want a little bit brighter color, Go ahead and tap that in. Okay, that looks good. And I think I'm going to use some of this in the background up here, and just kind of do like a. There was that wood tone. I don't think I'm going to do the wood. You could though. I mean, I've got plenty of tutorials where the background's wood, so you can check one of those and do it. If I was going to do these exact colors, I would probably do just a light gray and white, and maybe kind of like a little off-white like the Unbleached Titanium too. So, and I might add a little bit of the Unbleached Titanium with my peach here with this brush. It's got slightly yellow tone, and just kind of do some areas with that too. One thing that I've also noticed, going back to what I was talking about with the modern palettes and the modern more modern painting styles, more contemporary painting styles, is to do like very solid colors. So in this case, leaving it like a solid, with not a lot of, not what I'm doing now. So I like stuff going on in my backgrounds, but a lot of the more modern contemporary art that you see like in Target or, on walls and stuff, or in marketing things that you find in the store, are very like solid backgrounds, So if you want it to look a little bit more modern, you could think about doing that. Pick a color and do a solid color for the whole thing. But I really like that. It's got just a slight feel of this color up there, and then I might use just a little bit of this down here too in just some areas to marry the two together, and so they don't seem like they're part of a different painting. See? Okay, that looks good. Let's go ahead and do our base. And for that color, I think I'm going to stick pretty much to the colors in the picture. If I wanted to, I could go maybe a little bit more yellow, but I think I'm going to, excuse me, do that terracotta color. So I'm going to use the burnt sienna, a tiny touch of the burnt orange, and my yellow oxide. You could use Indian Yellow Hue too if you wanted to, but it's going to be a little bit more bright. I think it needs a little bit more burnt umber, but like I said, it's pretty darn close to the color in the background. So you could do a Quinacridone Burnt Orange on this if you wanted it to be a little bit more vibrant. This is going to be close to that copper colored one that I can't find. I did. It might be in there. I don't know.
Real quick.
Yeah, just real quick. I think it had a turquoisey background.
You remember stuff.
I have no idea what I did with it. I tried to clean out my studio the other day, and that's always a problem because then I can't remember lately where I put stuff. Okay, so kind of going in with this just straight up burnt sienna along that side there. And then right in here, there's kind of some shadowy areas. So I'm going to get some burnt umber, mix that in, and do this area with a little bit of burnt umber. No? Find it? No.
Yeah, but
I think it's in the other room.
In a stack right here.
No, because those are...
These are sticking together.
It's a 12 by 12. It's this size.
Oh, it looked like a canvas now.
No, it's not. Plus, those are all 9 by 12s in that stack. They're against the wall. We have my paintings in a whole nother room, and they like literally take up the whole wall on one side of the room. I seriously need to do a sale because we don't really have any room for more. usually I'll stack them up in the studio, and then I'll eventually like scan them and then store them in that other room. But now there's no place to store them. It's full. All right, so using just some of these burnt sienna, burnt orange, burnt umber, all the burnt colors, and some yellow oxide there just for my initial color. Looks good. Trying to make sure I got it symmetrical. I think I did. One thing you can do to check yourself is flip it, because sometimes you'll see things different when it's upside down. You can also look at it in a mirror or take a photograph of it and look at it in a photograph, because sometimes like the smaller size kind of helps. You can also take your reference photo and set them side by side in the same exact size, or take a tracing of your reference photo and place it over the top of your drawing and see if you've gotten the proportions right. You know, there's all kinds of little tricks that you can do to kind of check your drawing. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of the Indian Yellow Hue and the Cadmium, or the Yellow Oxide, and add some of the background color there that had the burnt sienna, or burnt sienna in it. And I'm going to use it down here. Make sure this first layer is dry-ish before you do this, otherwise it could lift it off, but it looks pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and do the handles and stuff, or else they're going to dry before I get them done. Did you find it?
No.
I know, I don't know what to do with it.
Paintings.
Huh?
You have a few paintings.
I know, that's... I just don't understand what I did with it. All right. A little bit more burnt sienna here. And then we go along this side with it to go darker on this side. Okay. Looks good, I think. I kind of got the angle wrong, I think. A little bit. I think it's it's not as long as this either. I might make it a little bit wider. It's the same thickness all the way down too. So I've got it thinner at the top, which is not really. All right, well, that'll have to do. Getting the burnt sienna. And let's do the handle. So the handle comes out just at the top of the spout, where the spout comes in. It's just slightly below that spot. So if I just make a straight line across and go down just a little bit, that's going to be right in here somewhere. I'm going to use the edge of this brush. I switched to the 4 flat here. I could use a round brush too if I wanted to. And it comes out pretty far, and then just angles down and back in. There we go. And there's a little bit of a flare right here where it attaches. Just a that's good. So it's got that kind of very modern looking style. I'm going to bring this out just a little bit more. And on this side too, because there we go. Okay. I don't think that bottom area is quite right on this side, but I'm going to let it dry because I can't do anything with it right now because it's wet. If I try to fix it, it'll just lift off the color. Same thing with over here. So let's go ahead and start to kind of block in some of our main colors on our flowers, and then we'll come back to the teapot and finish it up. You found it. You found it. It was on a panel, huh? Yay. Okay, so there's the other one in the series. So the color is pretty similar, only obviously darker because it's copper, but good job, honey.
Thanks. I feel like Sherlock Holmes here.
I know. Where was it? Just with all the other?
Yeah, it was in the top right-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
Once I confirmed it was a panel, I went to that area.
Ah, okay. I didn't remember it being a panel.
Well, that's
I must
okay.
not have had a canvas at the time.
We started the video saying that it had been pre-painted for something else. that you hadn't
Ah,
used,
okay.
So you just were going with that background color first.
Got it. All right, so doing magenta there.
Plus 5
Nice
points for
dark.
Mark.
Yep, plus 10 points for you.
10 points. Ooh.
Go with my darker purple in the middle. This one, I just realized it's kind of sticking out, and there's some of that background color peeking through. I'll have to figure that out, but it's kind of a straight line there. And then get a little bit of burnt sienna or burnt orange added to that magenta and purple to create kind of that dusky color that's this one here, and we're looking at it from behind in this picture up here, so he's right up in here. And I'm going not quite to the end, so I'm just kind of trying to hit the middle part of this so that it's a little bit dark along the middle area there. And then here's some dark pink right here, coming down over the handle. There's another one out here, but I'm not going to try to do it because it's definitely going to be out on its own. And then let's do I'm going to get some green.
So what was that
Mix
magenta
that.
color you were just doing? Right?
That was purple and magenta and a little bit of burnt orange for that. And I might have added a tiny touch of white too. And then this is that dark green I'm going to use. It's going to have a teal tone, slightly teal, because it's got, I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit of the blue too. It's got a little bit of the magenta still in my brush, so I'm going to kind of pop it around in the middle areas. And it's going to mirror this color here because it's the same colors, only darker. So
Do you pay that mockingbird to sit outside the window and sing drum? Is he on contract or something?
He's, yeah. He's singing. I'm singing. I always think of that elf thing whenever I hear them. Because I think of elf. I'm singing, and you're my dad, and I'm singing, and I love you, I love you, I love you. So I imagine he's saying in his head when he's singing, yeah.
Store.
Yeah. And you didn't know, but I'm your son. And all right, I think I got this a little off here. I was trying to kind of correct it and think I made it worse. So, well, I definitely think this needs to be a straight line. It's not, so that'll straighter, not completely straight, but that needs to be a little bit farther out right there. Do you see how it's not covering very well? So I'm going to get a little bit of the burnt umber here. A little bit more opaque color here. So I can't see where that new line is. Got a little bit over right here. Oops, that's still not dry on the handle. The handle's not dry. Okay, let that dry. Let's go ahead and I'm going to use a little bit of that greenish color with my burnt orange to create my shadow color on my vase. It's got a little bit of blue in it. Gonna get some glaze. I'm just gonna mix my shadow color, that kind of bluish color, with the color that's already down to get a little bit darker color there. I think that's a little too dark, but can go back over it with some of the burnt orange, burnt sienna. Yeah, there we go. Kind of lifting it off a little bit. Okay, so then down here there's like a whole area where it's much lighter. I'm going to get some of my yellows and that burnt orange, burnt sienna, and my white. Create that whole area right there, and I'm going to go over my lines so that I blend in here where I had first done my line. Give it a second coat there so that it kind of looks like it's all together. I'm getting more yellow here, and I'm going to add that because it's much more yellow than it's looking in this picture. The shadows on this one are a little bit weird because I took this photo and was using a handheld kind of photo light, whatever, and it kind of did some harsh shadows in some weird areas. So it's not like a regular shadow where you're getting it from one side. It was kind of like coming from the bottom almost. But then there was also the room light that was creating shadows too. So I have kind of competing shadows in there, this one. So if you wanted to simplify it, you could and just kind of do a one shot shadow from one side, but then these shadows would be different too. So that I was trying to get these shadows is kind of why I took the photo the way I did, but it created some odd shadows on the vase itself or on the teapot itself because of that. which I don't hate, it's just different. Okay. A little bit better. Still don't like that color that much. I'm gonna I think I went a little bit too dark with my shadow here. Put a second coat on my handle. And then there's a shadow or a highlight that goes all along this side here. And that's why I put out the Zinc White, because I thought I would use that. And I'm going to use the Zinc White and a little bit of blue, if I can get some blue on here. Gives it a softer highlight than the titanium white. So I'm putting the color down and then just kind of brushing it out a little bit. It's getting a little sticky in here, which tells me that this area is trying to dry, so I need to leave that alone. And then I'm gonna go over this with a little bit of the burnt orange color while it's still wet. Okay. Yeah, that looks all right. All right, getting some of the burnt sienna, yellow, white, creating a light terracotta. I'm gonna put my highlight in on the handle. Along there. And then there's some along this top of the teapot. See, it's kind of weird because it's coming from the bottom instead of the top like you would expect to see. That's why I was saying it's kind of an odd, a little bit odd, but it's just because the light source was the way I did the light source on my photograph. Get a little bit of the burnt sienna, blending that in, and then right along here is going to be really dark shadow with the burnt umber along the top edge right here. And set that color down. I'm just going to pull it down towards my lighter area. Okay. Clean that brush out because it's got a lot of colors going on. A little bit more of that dark color, maybe a little glaze, burnt sienna. I'm going to put it right here. Just a little bit down there where this teapot attaches. You see how it's kind of got these weird like lines there? So to get those out, I'm going to wipe my brush off and just go back over this really lightly and just smooth all that out. And it takes out all those weird lines that are happening. Okay. And then let me get a little bit more of my dark color. I want this teapot spout to go in a little bit. Kind of did it straight, but I want it to kind of come in a little bit on that line. Okay, there we go. And on that edge one more time. Yeah, that bird is singing away, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Just singing it. I didn't realize how much it was picking up on the microphone until I went back and watched. I was looking for a part of one of my videos that we did last week, I think, or that I think it was the Iris one maybe, or one of those, and it was like he was so loud. It sounded like a soundtrack, like a tweet, 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 tweet. Okay. There we go. And then there's a little bit of dark right on the inside right here. So I'm just going to kind of do a little line right there just to kind of hint at that opening, and then some dark right here. Right on the inside of that. And where it attaches, just a little bit of a hint of that. And then all up in here, this is all dark. In the inside of this. Getting that original color back in and just going over the line between the dark and the light there. To kind of blend them in. This has given me very 70s vibes. This is like very 70s colors. Like this burnt orange color. This is my grandmother's favorite color. She had a lot of stuff in this color. Never really liked it, but it's growing on me. It's really, the last few years, I've become more of a fan of oranges.
The juice can be really good.
Mm. Yeah. Smart aleck. All right, that's good. I'll need more highlights on there, but I'm gonna call that good enough. And I'm gonna get my shadow color here. Get the green and the ultramarine blue, a little bit of burnt umber, ultramarine blue, burnt umber, a little tiny bit touch of green. And I'm gonna go underneath my teapot here. With a little tiny shadow, very small. I've switched to a round brush here. This is just underneath where it's setting down. Okay, and then it can blend out into, I'm gonna get some more blue and a little bit of glaze and just blend it out into the shadow on that side. Okay. Green, a little bit of ultramarine blue, and mostly white. That was that color. It also had a little bit of a slight little bit of orange and magenta in it too. Got a little bit more blue. Whoop, maybe not that much. Trying to kind of mix up this background color again. All right, that looks fairly close. A little bit more white. Just going over and softening up that edge there. Okay. That area looks a little square to me compared to the other side. Be curious to see. I think that this needs to come down a little bit more before it curves in. Yeah, that's a little closer. Oh, there. Guess I should have fixed that before I did my shadow along the bottom. Okay, that's better. Better. All right, let's get my Zinc White. A little bit of the blue. Just hanging. Mostly Zinc White. A little bit of glaze to help with the transparency, and I'm gonna come back up here and do that again. Wipe that off. Just go up and down with it. It's wanting to dry pretty quick, so I need to be quick about this. I'm trying not to push too hard so that I don't lift off the color, because I just want it to be kind of soft right in that middle area, and it's translucent, so you're seeing the other colors through, so it's a little trickier to do it this way, but it gives that really realistic looking shine on it. I like it. Okay, and then I'm going to do a little bit on the lip right here. And I'm going to go back in. I might get a little bit of the titanium white even, and just do a little bit of, like, a little bit brighter. Wipe that off. I should have waited for that first layer to dry. Wait for that first layer to dry before you do that extra highlight, because it's not going to let you blend it out. See how it's lifting? We'll just have to do that again. Let that dry. That's what happens when you try to do it. See how it leaves the halo around it? It's got the lighter, the darker, and this middle area lifted on me because it was not dry, and I tried to blend into it, and it's going to keep doing it, so I got to leave it alone. It's not anything but acrylics doing their thing, so don't mess with them while they're doing that, and then come back to it. It's not anything that you've necessarily done wrong. It's just I went over it too quickly when it was still wet, so I did do something wrong, actually, honestly, but it'll happen. It happens all the time. You never know. Sometimes they dry really fast, and especially when you're using glazes and things and not using a lot of paint like I was with the Zinc White there. I thought it was dry almost immediately, but it didn't dry as quickly as I expected it to. So, all right, that's pretty. Let's go ahead and stop fussing with that. And one thing we could do too is to splatter it. There are some splatters on a couple of these, and not all of them have splatters. This one doesn't have splatters. But the vase has speckles in it. So if you want that, what you could do is do the vase first and then paint around it. If you don't want to get your splatters in the background. But I'm going to go ahead and do some splatters right now. And just try to keep them in the general area of the vase. Or the teapot, I should call it, keep calling it a vase. Teapot. Okay. And I'll just go ahead and speckle the whole thing because I'm making a mess of it, so might as well. Okay, and then I'm going to take my paper towel and just dab it off so that it's softened. Got some white in there. Okay, there we go. So that gives you the like little speckled effect. On the teapot itself. All right. Just trying to soften up the color here. That dark is pretty dark. Lifting off some of that darker brown. Okay, let's go ahead and do our flowers. Why not?
Might as well since we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I'm going to use the bigger brush here. This will give me bigger petals. I'm going to... What?
What's the bigger brush called?
It is the 4-round.
Ooh, man, I was guessing right there. After about 7 years, I'm getting good at this. Scraping like a beast. We can talk about Patreon.
Okay.
While you're doing that,
Sure.
what do you want to tell them?
We'll have the traceable for this available after the show. I keep forgetting to mention that during the shows lately, but I do traceables for all of the paintings that I do for YouTube here. They're all available for only $2 a month, so it's unlimited access over on Patreon. It's also a $5 level that it gives you some bonus videos that are about 4 and 5 hours long-ish. And we just finished the one for this month a couple weeks ago, and we'll be doing another one in June. And we do one a month. And you also get access to all the old bonus videos as well for that same price, and the traceables. So I'll show you what kind of paintings we do for that. This is the one we did for the $5 level.
Nice.
Just this last month. And then this is the $10 level. Ooh. It's all of that plus they're on Thursday shows. So this is every Thursday. We do a project. We work on it for about an hour to 2 hours every week until we're finished. So this one I think took 4 weeks to finish for 4 different Thursdays. And
not too bad.
Yeah. And then we're going to be working on animals of, let me see if I can find them. There we go. This month we're going to be working on animals of North America. So we've done animals of Africa, South America, and Asia. So we're working through the continents. So North America is next, and then we're going to do Australia probably either later on in the year or early next year. So
And
the $10 level also gets to pick the videos. So I post the poll, and they get to kind of put their 2 cents in and what they want to see. And so they get a lot of input on what we do on our channel and help pick what we're doing. And then also they've been testing my new website for me. So I've got a new website that'll be, hopefully, fingers crossed. We've got a few things to iron out on it still, but getting really, really close. And they've helped me tremendously we had 725 videos that they had to test and tag and check all the links and all that stuff. So they
traceables,
they did
reference photos.
Yeah, they did amazing.
Links.
It was pretty great.
They're pretty good people.
I'll have to get all the list of the names and shout them out here once we get the new website up and give a formal thank you to all the ladies. But yeah, if you're interested in that, you can check that out at the link there, Mark.
Yeah. And thank you for all your support, everybody.
Oh yeah.
Incredible.
Yep, our patrons are amazing. They have made major changes to our channel and lives and everything.
Yep, I'm pitching some new equipment to Angela. We'll see. She bites. It's kind of like fishing, kind of throw it out there. She just doesn't pay attention at first.
It's a Gen X thing. We question everything. We can't
And
just.
you throw it out there. She kind of looks at it. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right, I'm full. I don't need any.
Eventually,
you.
though.
Maybe eventually bite.
Maybe.
All right, I'm still correcting this. It really would help if I had done it on a drawing and had it accurate drawing and then
I think it's good.
traced it, but
I think it's fine.
it's fine. Okay. I'm going to get some of this blue with the zinc white here.
I think it's that edge right there is a little more rounded than the other side.
Again, this one?
No.
This one?
Right where you're...
That edge is
the left edge.
this edge.
The left, coming down the sides. The left edge seems like it's a little more rounded than the right edge.
It curves in a little bit more.
Looks like.
We're going to have a flower there, so
Okay. All right.
I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
All right, so this is going over that. See how it'll cover that now. We can fix that blotchiness that was on there. And I may just end up having to put some of that background back on it because it seems like it's getting a little bit light now. And you can also use a paper towel, steady your finger, and just kind of wipe along the edges there to help blend it in. I'm still seeing a little bit of that halo effect right there, so I'm trying to kind of get that worked out where I have that like hard white line around a darker area where it lifted. Okay, so that's a little bit better. Still seeing a little bit of the line right in through here, but I think we got most of it out. And I can get some of that background color and kind of just work that in over it too. Actually, I don't know why I'm not using my blender. This would be the perfect brush for it. Dirk. Keep forgetting. This is the kind of thing that it excels at. Oops, I don't know why I grabbed that green color, but actually it works. That was the background color, but it works. It's also more opaque, so it's going to cover up those splotches pretty well. Okay, that's better.
I mean, you can actually see it in the photo.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, that's good. I'm going to leave that there. Yeah, it is reflecting the colors, so it's smart. It'll reflect the colors of the background and things. All right, I think I'm ready for flowers. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to get that brush again. So this is that 4 round. And I'm going to work from back to front. So I'll do these ones in the back here first. So let's go ahead and mix up some of that magenta. And it was just a tad of the burnt orange and a little bit of the purple to make this smoky. This one it's called Queen Lime, which is weird because it's not lime at all, but maybe it's from this, I'm not sure, but it's got this, there's a whole series of them called Queen Lime. This one's red, Queen Lime blush and orange and pink and lime, Queen Lime. It's pretty funny. It's a whole series of zinnias that they have this kind of, they look like antiqued almost, you know, they have that smoky color. This one's called Mazurka, and they're a lot smaller, they're daintier. Zinnia, I don't know that I have them in this picture, but we could add it if we wanted to. This one is the one that's back here facing away from us. Yeah, so I think that's pretty close to where I want to be. I'm going to have a couple tones of it. And if it's too tinted, you can always add a little bit of burnt umber or something like that. I think I'm okay though. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of flatten out my brush. So I'll just kind of press it flat so that it's got a little bit more of a squared edge. Some round brushes will do it more than others. This one's, yeah, there we go. Kind of just push it a little bit before I lay it down. And I'm going to say the center of the flower is like right here. So I'm going to do all my petals sort of towards that center. And there's some darker color in here too. I'm going to go ahead and get the burnt orange and magenta and kind of come up with that. A few of these. Okay, very kind of light touch here. So I'm going to just get a little bit of that highlight just on the tip of the brush and just set it down. I'm going to leave some of these petals that are in the background and kind of just go in between them and just knock it towards me. But the faster I do it, the better. If I stop to explain it, it kind of doesn't do as well sometimes. Okay, so something like that. And then this flower is going to be in front, so we're just going to kind of try to imagine that there's a little bit of green, and we can put a green there if we want to. There would be the green thing where it's attached, right? Okay. What'd you say?
The stem.
The stem, yeah. The green thing where it's attached, aka stem. I was just talking about that with a group of writers. Well, Alona Andrews was talking about, they should call it writers, not writer's block. It's like writer's brain or something. I don't know, something that happens with writers when they've been writing for a while, is that they start having that exact same thing. And I was like, oh, that's funny. I call it art brain. I was trying to remember all the things that armholes for sleeves and sticky out things for sticks, for branches, and
and the green things.
And Well, and it's a phenomenon where it's like literally your brain can remember what the function of the item is. So you can explain what it does, but you can't actually come up with the title for the name of it. It's really weird. I didn't know it happened to other people. But it makes sense because writing is very artistically, bent towards, I'm sure they're using their right brain a lot too. So coming up with stuff. All right, so creating kind of a gold here with the Indian yellow hue and the yellow. And then I want to have a lime tone to it. So I'm going to get a little bit of green and add that in. That was way too much green. I want it much more yellow than that. And I'm going to get a pretty good amount of white. And then go back in here and get my yellow. Oh, that's good. See how that kind of, that white and then that bit more of yellow, that'll help. Okay, so we'll use this for our color over the top of this one. This is the yellow flower that we're seeing coming over, and it's kind of smaller, so it's just like right in here. And we're having another flower kind of in front of it, so I'm not going to be too worried about it. I think I'm going to have it facing us a little bit more, though. Instead of facing away, I think I'm going to have it facing us. I'm going to do the center. Get a little bit more of that brighter yellow here. What were we saying?
Now, remember you did some garden tours last year. Was that on Instagram?
That was on Instagram.
Okay.
Last year, yeah. Did the series of live streams in the garden. I didn't do it this year. We've had a weird year in the garden.
Well, not yet. The flowers are still.
Yeah, but I mean, I
taking
started
off.
it pretty early last year. I just, and then it got too hot, so I didn't do it at the end of the year. Just stopped. Plus, I wasn't sure if anybody cared or was watching them, so, like, it's interesting to me, but maybe not to anybody else.
Oh, yeah, people are asking.
Oh, really? Okay.
About the flowers, stuff like that. So,
Yeah, I've been posting on my Facebook page a lot of the flowers from the garden. So far, we've had some hollyhocks come back. We seeded them first year last year, and then they've come back. Okay, so doing a little bit lighter color here. Got a little bit more of that bright yellow and just kind of going back in here. And I need to probably let this first layer dry a little bit more. It's wanting to lift, but just trying to get it down here. There we go. There we go. And then the center had some of that green kind of sticking up right here. I'm just going to leave that one, and I'll probably glaze over it. So we need to figure out what we're going to do here, because we decided to move that yellow one, not do a yellow one right there, but now we've got a hole where it was. So I might just do some greenery in that area, because I don't have any greenery up there. So I'm going to get some of the green. I'm going to get a little bit of the phthalo, or the phthalo green and the ultramarine blue, and make that kind of turquoisey green, but a little bit more on the green side. And a little bit of that white, so kind of a nice sagey green. I might get a little bit of the ultramarine or the burnt sienna with the ultramarine blue and green here and make a darker version of it. Kind of what we did here. And then let's go ahead and just do some leaves coming up. This was, the leaves in this one, if you care, were pineapple sage, I think. Or pineapple oregano. Can't remember. It's pineapple something. It was an herb. They did not survive the winter.
Somebody just asked that when you say glaze over the yellow, with what color are you talking about?
I'll do it with probably a brighter yellow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not there yet. But
Okay,
yeah.
I wasn't paying attention to what you said. I was trying to answer a flower question.
Okay.
Did you post it in the newsletter? It was a hollyhocks.
Yeah, yeah. The hollyhocks. They were asking what flowers they were.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and our blueberries.
Yep.
Our painted bunting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do some. We've gotten some good pictures of birds on the bird feeder, so I've got to do a compilation of all the photos we've got to make them look good, and then we'll probably in June or July. I mean, but our June schedule is coming out this week, so
Yeah.
be watching for that if you.
I got an email.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to be on our email list, we've got an email that goes out before the show every Tuesday. Reminds you of what we're doing that week, and also gives you a link to the live stream because we're posting it later than we used to. We used to post it ahead a month, but because of the way the YouTube algorithm shares our videos, we're posting it closer to the date, and as in the day before. Now, so if I keep getting people going, are you not doing live streams anymore? But yes, I am. I'm just.
And by doing that, it shows
posting
up
them.
at the top of my feed.
Right, exactly.
The
So
day
it's
of,
showing up
yeah.
the day of instead of the month before, and then not showing
falls
up
out.
again. So just. All right, so just kind of doing different greens here, trying to get a variety of colors, and now we're hopefully fixing that problem that we had with that curve on that edge. And then there's some right here coming down and over the vase on this side. Just using the brush to create the shape of the petals of the leaves. I mean, just doop 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 doop. And they're kind of variegated, or they're very kind of ruffled, so I can go back in and kind of mess them up too. They're not like perfectly smooth like I'm doing here. That will make them look a little bit more realistic. Okay, getting that lighter yellow. And putting that along the edges. Just dabbing it in to give it some variegation. Is that right? Yeah, the variegated, yeah. I was thinking I was saying irrigation. That's not the right word. Variegation is the right word. Okay. Phew, art brain. Hello. I kind of don't love how long this one is, but it is what is in the picture, so I might make this flower bigger though, and cover some of that up because it just seems like it's awfully big. Right, and then let's go ahead and I'm going to leave some of this dark here. A good amount of that green there, and I'm going to put a little bit of it over here to come down. And there's going to be a big flower right here. All right, I can add more to it later if I need to. And I'll be using this color in this too to dab on that back end of that flower that's right there. Okay. So get some really dark green for the center of that. Just want to be sure I have some darker values in these leaves so that they have a little bit of depth. All right, so we're going to do another yellow one here, and then my big El Dorado over here. That's the name of this guy. The big reddish orange. They glow like they're so vibrant. You can't tell in this picture because it's not that great of light, honestly. On it, it's a little bit muted, but these things in sunlight are like neon orange, so pretty. Orangey red. Fiery. And okay, so I'm going to get the magenta and the Pyrrole orange, or you can use cadmium orange or cadmium red light, just any of those will do, and just create a really bright, vivid red, orangey red. Look at that nice color. This is very similar actually to our background color too. And they're really big. They're like that big around. So that's the nice thing about this this bouquet here that we captured, because it's got some variety of shapes. Some of the zinnias are smaller and some of them are larger. This one's definitely the largest, one of the largest ones in the bunch. I'm going to kind of, the edges of the zinnia are kind of a squared off. They're not super round. So I'm trying to get that with a round brush. It's not easy. I might switch to a flat brush. I grabbed this one, so I might use that instead. It'll give me a little bit more squared off petals. That looks good though. And then this area in the middle is really dark, so I want to get that burnt orange and just go really dark with it. So I need contrast. Okay. Gonna pull it out towards the petals a little bit. I might even get a little bit of purple. Use that right in the middle. The darkest part. Okay. Good, good. All right, let's do this one here. So this one is I think it's called Royal Purple. I don't know if anybody cares about the names of the zinnias, but you're going to get a lesson in it. No. Like it or not. And I have no color that comes close to the vibrancy of these colors. So fuchsia is one of the colors that really does not replicate in acrylic paint colors. Like there's no color that is quite as vibrant as the colors in these two. That hot purple color. So if you want to, you can grab your fluorescence. That's probably your best bet to get something close. Like it's probably like this luminous rose color here. So I might add a little bit of that on top. Because otherwise you're not going to quite get it as bright. I'm going to get a little bit of white. But the white just kind of dulls it down. It doesn't, have that same oomph vibrancy that you're gonna get. I added just a slight bit of purple to it. Let's go ahead and, ooh, I got some of that green, but that's okay because there is some green in this little bit right here. Wherever it sticks out right there. That's the center of the flower. And then seeing some petals coming out. Around the sides. Get a little bit of the darker purple, do darker purple and magenta. Do some of these ones that are underneath here. I'm pretty sure these ones are the royal purple ones. That really bright fuchsia. Oh, no, this might be, actually take it back. These might be, I can't think of it. They always have very, like, pretentious names, you know. They're very, like, Zinnia names are very dramatic. I can't think of the name. Shoot, that's gonna bug me. Okay, and then getting the white here. I'm gonna go light and just do a few petals with the lighter coming in. Just setting them down and lifting. They're kind of facing up, so we're only seeing them from the side, and the light's only kind of catching in certain areas. Keep picking up that pink color. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to use some of this darker pink for underneath this one. Okay. I'll have to get my Zinnia packs out. I don't remember the names of these pink ones. Look up hot pink Zinnia. See what comes up. For names, you just list out names of zinnias, and I'll tell you which one it is.
Hot pink zinnia.
I'm gonna do this one a little bit brighter, just magenta. And this one is kind of behind stuff, so I'm gonna go ahead and. But I am going to bring it out a little bit more than it is in the picture, so I'm going to start there where I know I want it to be out here.
Swallowtail?
No.
Pine tree?
No.
American?
No, it's like illuminated. I don't know. It's got a weird.
Purple princess?
Could be that one. I don't think so, though. I think it's like a one word. Look at Rare Seeds, because that's where I got it. Okay, so there we go. No, that's this one.
Scabiosa.
No, that's a different kind of flower. It's not
Luminosa.
Lemon-osa. That's, yeah. I was wanting to say Illuminati, but
There's one here. Luminosa.
no, not Luminosa pink. No,
We got a dark zinc.
I don't think so.
Zinderella.
No, those are new though. I got those this year. I'm looking forward to trying those ones out.
Uproar Rose.
Mm-mm.
Luminoso. Dreamland Pink. Double Zaha Raspberry. Purple Prince.
Purple Prince.
Uproar Rose. Benari Giant Coral.
No.
Fairy Morse. So do I need to go get your seed packets now?
Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares but me. It'll just bug me until I figure it out. I'll go find it after the show and be like, oh, obviously it was.
There goes my Google feed. So.
Huh?
There goes my Google feed.
Now I just messed up your Google feed.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get off of the hot pink stuff.
All right. So I'm getting this luminous rose. Now, if you don't have it, just use your magenta. It's actually not doing too bad, but I just want it a little bit brighter. You can see it's just a little more oomph there. And I went back in and pushed the purple out so that I had some dark going in between these petals. See that? And then I'm just going to kind of dab a little bit. Okay, that looks good. We'll let this dry really well before we try to do anything else to it. Oh, I forgot to do this one while I had that wet color on there. Let's go ahead and use this with some of my orange. And let's get some of the magenta. I'm just going to use that to do this. Don't know what this one colors is. It's not really showing up very well on here, and it's kind of hiding behind this other one, so. All right, and then we'll get some burnt orange here. Use it to darken up underneath. Okay. I'm going to use this yellow green. I'm not spraying often enough if everything's drying out on me. Yellow green to do my put the green in first and then the yellow green, but I'm gonna lift it off. I'm gonna have to let it sit. need it dark where it's attached. Like right now it kind of looks funky because it's just like the same color as the petals around it. So I need that dark color on the petals around it where that green is attached for it to work. And really this is kind of flat. I'm kind of making it a little bit more rounded than it is. Okay, there we go. And getting that dark burnt green, burnt orange with the burnt umber, I mean. And bring it out right in that area there. And I'll add some highlights, but just need it really dark right there where it's attaching. Okay. And then I need more dark in here. Like there's no dark in the yellow at all. So I'm going to get my can't think, yellow oxide, some green, and a little bit of burnt orange or burnt sienna. And I'm going to come up here and kind of go underneath my petals to define them a little bit in my yellow flower. And then I'll probably end up having to go over the yellow again. But I already knew I was going to anyways, so this will make that yellow flower pop out though a little bit better. And then let's go ahead and I think I'm going to use a little bit more of an orangey yellow with the, so get the little touch of yellow, a little bit of burnt orange, and we'll use that in this one here. And this will be kind of like this, kind of in between those two colors there. Oh, excuse me.
Saved.
Huh?
Saved.
Good. I don't know why I did not do this yellow one first, but okay. Big yellow one right in here. Wow, we're not making good time today, are we?
I'm doing fine.
No, I'm not getting these done fast enough.
What's the time on it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, I tried to get it done in 2 hours, but I got that iris done in 2 hours last week, which I was pretty proud of that.
Yeah, you're probably not going to be 2 hours with this one.
No, I don't think so. I'm almost at that already, and I'm halfway through my flowers.
See, now you know that Oak Island's finished. Now you're just kind of kicking back
I
and
know, I'm taking my time and
whatever.
whatever. I don't have to get done any particular time. Okay, and I'm gonna mix up some of this background color if I can, or something close to it at least. A little tiny, I think it had a little tiny bit of yellow and a little bit of magenta too. And then the white. I'm gonna come up underneath here and paint around some of these flowers that I know are gonna be sticking out. Yeah, so there's a big pink one in here. this one's called Candy Cane, the one that's got the crazy colors. Mark's gonna go get my thing because he knows it's driving me crazy. Thank you, honey. They're in two places. They're not all in the same place. I'm gonna put out a little bit of titanium white in my fluid paint, so just make it a little bit easier to pull from it. Alrighty. Well, I like how that one turned out so far. It's the only one that's done. Okay, we gotta get going here. I really didn't expect this one to take this long, honestly. Could not have told you that this would take more than 2 hours. I would not have believed it. But sometimes these zinnias do take a long time, and there's a lot of petals, so I really need to think about that. The zinnias take a little bit more time because there's so many petals. They're not like a daisy where you're just, you know, boom, 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 and done. There's a lot of detail to them. I'm getting my yellow here and trying to kind of come back over my green that I just did. I don't know that I'm doing it better or not, but did you find them? There was some in the cup too.
I just grabbed this plastic.
Okay.
You gonna do it?
Yeah.
Don't you
Oh.
need the paint?
Well, yeah, I do. Okay. I'll let you do it.
Or I can paint, and you can
It's
do
fine now.
it. Okay.
Just messing around.
Illumination.
Yes. No, but I don't think. I think that's this. I think that's this one. This pink one. That's here.
Purple Prince.
So it might have been Purple Prince.
I don't have a picture. I just
Okay.
have the name.
Yeah, it might have been Purple Prince then. I've got more that are in another area. In the cup that I was.
Exquisite.
Yeah, that might be it. No. No, it might be
There's
purple.
your-
It might be royal. What did I call it?
I called it
No,
Purple
there was
Prince.
Purple Prince, but I thought it was called something else. I thought there was another one that was purple something.
There's more in a
Cup. All right, so here's my center. I'm going to start with kind of a darker yellow and work in towards my brighter yellow. This one is see, there was another flower down here. I'm trying to cover up that area and it's kind of throwing out the shape of this flower. Yeah, they might be Purple Prince then. That may be their color.
We could do the whole neighborhood.
Oh, I know. I've got a lot of different zenith colors. Yeah, we definitely could seed the whole neighborhood. Not joking.
What started out as a simple vegetable garden.
Well, you knew. You knew.
I knew.
I don't know what you're talking about. You need the flowers to get the pollinators in,
You
too.
were probing the fences this spring.
What do you mean?
Like, well, you know, I could plant some flowers. Or no, there's a rule. No flowers in the vegetable garden. You got the irises, you snuck those in, but that's it.
Jeez, so mean. My dahlias need a place to go. All right, getting some white and my yellow now. As I'm getting towards the center, I'm gonna kind of go a little bit more, a little bit lighter. Trying to leave a little space in between so I can see that dark.
Meteor?
No. That's a new one.
It's already too.
It's like, no.
Queen Lime Red.
That's this one. El Dorado's this one.
That's all we got, babe.
I may have used them all up last year. Oh, it must be Purple Prince then. I don't know. Okay, that one turned out all right. I like how I did the overlapping on it. I'm going to get a little bit of this reddish orange and do dabbing in the center here with that. Looks good. Go ahead and do a little bit there too. Gonna go ahead and get some white with this.
That wasn't me.
No, that was Fitzy. Clearing his throat. A little bit brighter there to make it pop a little bit better. And then getting some yellow and dabbing in little yellow bits a little bit more. Gonna flatten out my brush here and do some little crisscrossies. There's little lines. Okay, looks good. Good. Bright, bright, bright. And then let's do this one. This one's that lime green. This is the lime green, Queen Lime color. And it really is lime green. It's really beautiful. Fitzy's just like, are we done yet? He gets this, he kind of knows my schedule. And if I go over my 2 hours, he starts to do this sighing. He's like, it's been 2 hours. Come on, Mom. We got cuddling to do. Okay. Nice. I like it. And then getting the bright white with this green still on my brush. This lime green still on here. Doing a few right in here. These last few are really bright, kind of facing the just little bitty. And leave this center kind of dark and do some kind of greenish dabs right there. Okay. I really don't like the green that I did under there. I'm going to make it a little bit darker because I don't think it works right there against that lime green of this. Okay, yeah, I still don't quite like it. I think I might just take that out completely. We'll do another flower that's kind of overlapping some, but I don't want that green right up against that. I just didn't like it, how it looked. Okay, let's get let's do the pink that's in the back there. That's kind of a peachy pink. So I'm going to kind of get that peach color. It's not as red as that. It's more of a true pink, but it's like a watermelon pink. Get that and do it back here. And it's being covered up by this other petals, flowers, so. And we'll go ahead and put it, I'm just going to use the same colors on this one here, as if it's right here. Get that lighter color, the white. Make it a little bit lighter. Really need it dark. There we go. Alright, and then the centers are kind of a yellowish, orangey yellow.
Cinderella lilac?
No, that's a new one too. I didn't have that one last year. No, I'm looking forward to that one. That's gonna be good. That one's hard to find.
Oklahoma salmon?
No, that's another new one.
Queen peach, salmon rose. Man, okay. Alright, people gotta know. I'm counting all these packets. I don't know if it's more lead polish colors or changing types. Just saying.
I've also got cosmos and poppies and
Cellos and
lots of different kinds of flowers.
complex gabiosas.
Yep.
take some medication for that.
Scabious.
Let's see here.
But then we get pictures like this out of it, so
So it's a business expense.
uh-huh.
Did the accountant go with that?
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't think I did it, but it probably could be. Okay. So that's dry enough. Now I can try to cover that up again better.
25.
Orange. White. 25 different varieties of...
25 packets.
There's only a couple that are repeats.
Yeah. It's okay. The backyard looks amazing. And these all get going.
Well, yeah, I mean, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because there was 2 different kinds of yellows, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11 varieties in just this picture, you know. It's, brings me joy, you know.
It brings the butterflies and the bees.
Yes, and it brings the pollinators to our other flowers and our other plants and vegetables. Okay. And if this is, it's probably going to like show. So if it shows a lot, what you can do is kind of put it in other places. Or take a glaze and glaze it in some other places, you know, so that that same kind of tone is in other areas of the background. But I do really like the color of this background with these flowers. I think it's a lot prettier than that white, just straight white color that was back there before. I think that'll work. I think it'll be good. Okay, now we've got one left. I'm gonna do some more yellow while this is drying. I'm gonna do a little bit brighter on my yellow one here. Oh, and I still have to finish that one. My goodness. I keep thinking I'm done, and it's like, nope, I still...
So what zone are we in?
We're in Central. We're in Zone 7B.
7B?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you. Somebody asked. I said Twilight, but... right.
7B. Nope, my poppies are coming up really nicely this year. I'm really excited about them coming back. Well, I had one plant come back. I've seeded the rest of them, but they're actually... I've always wanted to grow poppies, and I've never thought I could, but they've done pretty well for us. I think the key is our watering system. Mark set up a watering system that is automatic, so I don't kill them with my neglect. I think that was the problem before. I was either over or under watering them. Okay, so there's a little bit brighter yellow on some of those petals. I think the key with the yellow is just to make sure you got it dark enough. You know, they don't look very dark because they're the lightest color in your, on the palette, and so I think the tendency, at least for me, is to go too light with them. Trying to kind of paint around them, but I don't want to do that. Okay, and then I want to go a little bit darker with some of this area here. Okay, let's do our El Dorado. Which is pretty much that Pyrrole orange with a little bit of magenta, just to make it really bright red, reddish orange. And I'm going to get a little bit of white to help make it more opaque. But
Do you know what kind of poppies we're growing right now?
I've got a lot of California poppies. They're about the only ones that came up. And then I think I've got some gray. Oh, yes, we're going to have the same problem. I can't think of names right now.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I scattered a bunch of seeds and they're not blooming yet, so I don't know which ones actually took. I scattered a bunch of seeds from different packets in the same bed. And so I've got some that came up really, really large. They look like they're really big.
These are the
Poppies.
poppies.
Yeah, these are the California poppies that are doing really well. And then these ones back here are huge. The seed head, the heads of them are like that big. So they're obviously new because I didn't have any that quite that large last year. Last year we had a bunch of red and orange, really pretty orange and pink ones that came up. But I don't know if those took. I don't think I think these were a new variety. I want to say they were the gray, something gray. But we'll see. I'll be sure to be posting pictures when I get them. I'll probably end up doing another painting. I love painting poppies. And they're a lot easier than zinnias. It's maybe the last zinnia picture we do. What time is it? 8:10? Okay. We're almost there. We're getting closer. Mm-hmm. Mark's getting tired. Okay. That's good. All right, let's go ahead and I'll just use this color. It's not quite the right color, but it'll do. I'll use this color to start this one. Candy cane. Aptly named.
Yeah, those were cool.
Yeah,
Sure.
really neat looking.
Stripey, variegated.
Mm-hmm. They're pretty large too. I don't think I planted these this year. I need to. But I got a few new varieties, so I wanted to try them. It's the seed catalog company's fault because they always come out with new ones every year. And that's how they lure you in. Like, ooh. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of take the unbleached titanium on the tip of the brush here and kind of just drag it through and create these streaks through. It's actually working pretty well. Still have the original color on my brush, so it's just kind of... And the paint's fairly thick, so it's kind of catching. It's doing a good job of streaking, like almost dry brushing. Okay. Then I'm going to get even more. white. All right, getting a little bit more white. Looks good. I'm not going to go into super detail on these because it's late and there's a lot to them, so I think we're getting the essence of them close enough. Get some more of that darker red for my El Dorado here. I'm not doing these justice at all. They're so bright and vivid red. Centers sticking out right there. Let's do the little centers of this one. Dabby little. They're like little X's. And then I'm just going to tap. Some of that darker magenta, tap that in the center there, make it a little bit darker, and then I want this one and this one to be separated a little bit better, so I'm going to get some of my white here and streak it over those a little bit. I'm sure that I'm missing something and probably could, but I think we're gonna call that good enough because we've been going for an hour or 2 hours and 15 minutes. Some of the darker pink out there from that one. I think I didn't have it quite dark enough right in the center of that one. So I'm going to try to get some of this darker, maybe a little bit of purple with my burnt orange. I'm out of magenta. And just dab it around the center of this one so that it's, you've got to have that weight in the center for it to feel right, you know? Just doesn't feel like it's, yeah, that looks better. And then do it over here too. Make sure this one already had it kind of pretty good. Just make sure all mine have a good dark center. Get that dark green for this one. Get my yellow. Green in there, it's fine. And then all right, you can start doing your end stuff. I'm gonna finish putting a little bit of yellow in some of these, and
first we'll do super chat.
Ooh, some super chat.
Some super chat. Alrighty. First super chat of the evening came from Caroline.
Oh.
Says, thank you so much for your wonderful lessons, Angela, and thanks to Mark also.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Yes. Very, very generous.
And very sweet to remember Mark too.
True. That's true. Yes.
He's a huge part of it. I could not do this without him.
And,
Despite the naysayers.
and then we got a donation from Cuddling. There was no message with the donation, but earlier said that they look realistic, very beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you very much for that.
Yay.
That's awesome. And then we had a question earlier.
Okay.
And so, did you do the glazing over the yellow?
I didn't. I did a little bit different
Okay.
technique. I didn't glaze. No.
There we go.
Is there a trick or something to see the underlying colors in photos? Well, I mean, what I do is I just look at just the dark areas in it. So if I'm looking at a flower, I'm trying to decide. I'm looking here. I'm looking to see what is this color that's in between and right up against here. All these darkest areas. And that is what you need to make sure that you don't forget, because all of this going on here attracts your attention, and you're seeing, your eye is going to be caught by the highlights, and that's a color that you're going to notice and tend to put down. And that's what I end up doing on my yellow almost every time. For some reason, I have a hard time seeing the dark in the yellows. I don't really know why, but that's my Achilles heel color. And so I almost inevitably always have to go back in and add more dark colors to my yellow flowers. But yeah, there's no real trick. You just kind of train yourself to look in those areas, to see what is happening in those areas. And that's usually the color that you're going to need to include before you do your lighter colors on top. And so that's usually what I'll start with, and maybe do the entire, like on a flower like this where I'm doing my highlights a little bit differently, like where I'm kind of doing my highlights very sketchy. I tend to like to have the dark areas in so that they're showing up through the lighter colors. So
What are you tabbing on?
I'm putting out more of this luminous rose. I'm just gonna put some in these back petals here that I'm seeing. So this is what I'm saying. So I've got this dark color here, and I'm just gonna kind of tab in a little bit of that lighter color over, and I don't have to put in my shadows between every petal. They're already there, and I'm just dabbing in my highlights over the top, and it's adding a little brighter area. Makes sense? Okay, is that everything? All the questions?
That was it.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for, as always, hanging out with us on a Tuesday night. We appreciate you, and we will be coming out with our June schedule. Should be posted tomorrow. It's out? Okay, good.
Well, it's out. The email went out
The
today.
email went out today, but we'll be posting it on if you go to my community tab, on my, if you go to my page, my home
You can
page,
down
click my
below
photo
here.
or, click my photo or the thumbnail of my picture, and it'll take you to my channel homepage, and on the community tab, it'll have our schedule for June,
okay.
so you can check that out.
Nice.
If it's not posted already, it'll be posted probably tomorrow. And then we'll be posting, like I said, the individual links to each video the day before they happen so that they show up on people's feeds. So I am doing paintings all the way through June. I'm still doing them. We're just not posting them well ahead like I normally do.
Yes, this is not on there yet. On the community
Okay.
page.
Okay. Yeah, so I think Brennan's going to do that tomorrow. Usually. I still haven't scheduled the crowdcast, so once I do that, he'll share it from there.
Right, and you got the Patreon challenge video on Thursday.
Yes, we'll be starting a new challenge video, that animals of North America. So that'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to that one. I'll have bears and moose and bison and bald eagle.
Rugged.
Very rugged, very Rocky
rugged.
Mountain
Right.
high. Very
Canadian
yes.
polar bears.
I know it's left out the desert. I did want to kind of add some desert, but I was like, I couldn't figure out how to get it all in one, you know. So we just kind of went with the Rocky Mountain sort of feel on it. So but anyhow, all right, there we go. There we have it. That was a long one. Sorry. Thanks for hanging out with us for so long to get this one done, but it was worth it. Hopefully, I think it looks good with the rest of our grouping of paintings. I don't know how to get them all on here. I don't think I can. That's not.
Oops,
it's
that's
got
not the
something
one.
in front. Well, it may be, but it had another. So here we go. It's like our. I don't think we can go out far enough to get them all in here, but I'll post a picture with all of them on my social medias so you can see them all together. But I think it'd be fun to have a whole series of these on your wall, you know, like in a kitchen or something. Be really fun. And hope you guys like this series. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. Come back. Let me know in comments, you know, if you want to see more of these Teapot series done. I think we've got at least one more in the works with, I can't remember with a pink teapot with some flowers in it. So I don't know. We'll see. All right. That's it. Thank you. I'm rambling now. I'm tired. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.